Hey, bitch! It's episode 162 of the franchise.
What's up, everybody? It's episode 160.
And, I was close, though.
You were. I want to wish everybody Heidi-ho, Heidi-ho. It's Hank over here, down South Jersey, and up to my north is my good buddy Daniel.
Sure. Daniel Ehrenberg here on the ones and the twos. Wishing you a happy Pride out there to all our LGBTQ plus listeners and all our allies.
That's right. That's true. Yeah.
That's right.
Yes, it is that day.
Yep, there's a parade happening. I saw some rainbow condoms on the subway, and everybody's out getting the sweet word out about. I lost interest in what I was saying, Henry.
You sure did. You sure did. I was actually interested, and then you dropped it. So I was like, oh, all right. Getting word out about what? What's he going to say? All right.
Equality.
Right. That's what you're going to say. Sure.
Sure.
Welcome, everybody, one and all. And, we are here for your regular feed, for your show of the franchise. Welcome, new listeners. Welcome, old.
Yep. We're back on Chucky. We're still doing that.
That we are.
Mm-hmm. Part 2 of our 4-part Chucky coverage.
Correct.
And I'm happy to say he is still getting put back together and then getting killed and then getting put back together again.
It keeps happening. Like a regular old good guy Humpty Dumpty, he is back and back again. Yeah.
You know what's crazy about Humpty Dumpty?
What?
You tell me how you picture Humpty Dumpty.
All right, I guess I picture him like from, when I was a kid, the little books and shit that I would see. So I kind of picture a big, large egg type of figure with little pants and tiny legs.
That's right, a humanoid egg, Henry.
Right, correct, right.
But if you go back and read the Humpty Dumpty tale,
Ooh.
Nowhere does it mention that he's an egg.
Interesting.
He's just a man. He fell down and broke his crown, meaning his skull.
Yeah, his head. Right.
And I would like someone to tell me at what point in history did we transpose this character into an egg?
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. You raise a deep philosophical, ontological question. I would say that. I guess he's obviously not an egg, but if he looks like an egg, why is he depicted as such? Yeah, good point.
Does he look like an egg? Is this like...
Well, I don't know.
Is this the world's longest practical joke? We took some poor fat slob, and we've been drawing him as an egg for centuries?
Maybe what it is that if it was a human, it would be a little too graphic when he falls. If he broke his crown, like it'd be like a busted human head.
So maybe we shouldn't be telling the story to kids.
Revision of fairy tales for kids.
Once you take all the cutesy language out of it, the story's just, there once was this guy with a stupid fucking name. He fell and cracked his head open.
Yeah, I guess you could do that to a lot of these Grimm's fairy tales. I don't think that's not a Grimm's fairy tale, but yeah, you could... That's what we want to do here, folks. We want to take the joy out of growing up.
I do.
Absolutely.
Watch that show, fucking Euphoria. That'll do it for you.
No Santa Claus, no Easter Bunny. Fucking right into reality, man.
Yeah.
Get it.
You shouldn't say that. I worry there's kids in the car while the parents are listening to the show.
I have been told by... one or two listeners they cannot listen to our show when their kids are present.
What? Because we say stuff like cunt?
Yes, more than one or two listeners actually who have children. They just it's too hard. And I said, yeah, I understand. So
I don't understand. You gotta
the age range depend, right? If they're really, really young, they're not even going to know what's going on at all.
Just play it for your kid. It's like how you let your kid play in the dirt so they're immunized to these diseases and germs. You want the kid to hear this stuff in a safe space, like the franchise, and then...
We're guys. Yeah.
Yeah, right? And then what'll happen is they will know how to harness this language.
I have a great question. What would you, as an 8-year-old, and what would I, as an 8-year-old, made of this show?
I probably would have liked it.
I think it would have been very, very, very over my head. And I do think, despite me growing up in the 80s and seeing whatever I wanted to see movie-wise and TV-wise and having a foul mouth, I still think I would have been disturbed by some of our conversations.
I don't think so, man. My dad grew me up on Howard Stern. He's a big Howard Stern guy. And so then I listened to that by myself, and then I was an Opie and Anthony listener for a few years when that was a thing. And so, I think even at a young age, I was listening to the shock jocks. Is that what we are, Henry? Are we shock jocks?
I don't know. We could be, I guess. I guess so.
Are we shocking radio disc jockeys?
I feel this is going to sound a little stereotypical. No, not stereotypical. Wrong word. A little pretentious, but I feel like we're a little smarter than a lot of shock jocks.
How dare you think that we're smarter than Bubba the Love Sponge?
I rest my case.
Didn't Hulk Hogan bone that dude's wife?
Fuck would I know that information.
I think that was it. Like, remember that sex video came out with Hulk Hogan and he used the N-word?
Oh, was that the pool boy thing?
Pool boy?
Yeah, when his wife screwed the pool boy and then tried to get all his money and divorce him, or is that later?
I don't know about the pool boy, but this was a sex video.
That was the big divorce. Oh, okay.
That came out. Gawker released it, and then Hulk Hogan famously sued Gawker.
Got it.
And it was him, Hulk Hogan, having some steamy hot sex with Bubba the Love Sponge's lady.
Uh-oh.
And used the N-word.
Oh.
Hey, listen, gang, we're here to talk about Chucky, and exclusively Chucky. So I want to thank once more, as I will every week, to Logan B. Adair, the great listener and patron of the show, who paid us the requisite fare for us to go see a movie and cover
my share of which I've probably already spent seeing these movies. So I would like to thank him for breaking even with me. Thank you.
Very nice. Henry, Child's Play 3. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, it's time.
All right.
It's time.
It's 9 months after Child's Play 2.
Jesus.
They got on Mancini's ass. They were like, we want to crank one of these out again. Write it.
Yeah, basically right.
Yeah, so he did. Supposedly it's his least favorite of the series because he had so little time to work on the script. And he is the accredited writer on this film. We have a new director, of course, the great Jack Bender, Henry.
Yes, I looked him up. I could see you'd be a fan.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Well, Jack Bender was a fledgling filmmaker at the time Child's Play 3 came out. Do you happen to, off the top of your head, have his other movie work? I'll bust that out. All right, whatever.
Not off the top of my head.
He did some TV in the 80s. Child's Play 3 was his first theatrically released movie, but he did a lot of TV movies. And I guess that's it. He was just like a TV movie guy. This was his only big movie. He definitely directed the David Cassidy story.
Awesome.
All right, so that looks good. Hey, Malcolm McDowell's in it.
All right.
So this fella made a very intelligent friendship back in the year 2000. He met a man by the name of J.J. Abrams, who gave him some work on Felicity. And then when Alias started up, he directed 11 episodes of Alias, including the post-Super Bowl episode, which was an important one.
Okay.
All right. But then that all culminated into him being the head director and executive producer of Lost, a show which he directed 39 episodes of.
Wow.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of this fella.
I would imagine you are.
Of course, he hasn't done much since. Right now, he's working on a show called Mr. Mercedes.
Okay.
Which is a Stephen King adaptation that is honestly, I don't know how to watch it.
What do you mean by that?
It's like David E. Kelly's writing it, okay? And Jack Bender's directing it, so I was like, I'm in. And then I looked up what network it was on. They said, oh, well, it's on the AT&T Audience Network. I was like, all right,
Jesus
geez.
Christ.
So if anyone knows where I can stream that show, maybe I'll watch it.
Huge viewership there.
Yeah. It's in its third season.
Wow.
Anyway, Child's Play 3 was released August 30th, 1991. You'll recall that the previous Child's Play was in November of 89, or of 90, I mean.
Right.
So that's big.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have a budget number for this one.
Yeah,
but we can presume it was around 10 or 12, like the first couple.
Probably.
Box office of 20.5 million.
Yeah. This was the last Child's Play movie I ever saw, and I saw it in theaters, I remember. So that was where my Child's Play experience ended.
Right. Well, not enough people saw this in theaters. You were one of the saintly few, Henry.
I guess. Yeah.
And so they didn't make another one until Scream came out, and then the studios were like, ooh, horror's hot again.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And I had we'll get there. We'll get there. We're not there yet. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's 91.
Came in at number 79 at the box office for 1991. Right smack dab in the middle of Madonna, Truth or Dare, and The Commitments.
Oh, okay. Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you have your 1991 list?
I do indeed. Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Here we go. Number 10, Point Break.
Okay, my number 10 is Poison.
Don't know it.
That's Todd Haynes' first film.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 9, the underrated John Hughes, John Candy comedy, Only the Lonely.
Oh, God.
Love it.
That's underrated, huh?
I love it.
What about Curly Sue? What's your take?
4 veering on 5-star.
Wow. Okay. Big Jim Belushi head over here. All right. My number 9 is the actually underrated Man in the Moon.
Okay. Yeah. And mine was also actually underrated. Okay. Number 8, Defending Your Life.
Love it. My number 8 is Point Break.
All right. My number 7, the great David Mamet, Homicide.
That is great. My number 7 is the great Richard Linklater's Slacker.
Aha. My number 6 is the once great Oliver Stone, The Doors.
My number 6 is the great Hal Hartley's Trust.
Real indie year for Daniel over here.
That's right, baby.
Can't wait for what's coming. All right, here we go, folks.
Heavy hitters. These are the grand slams, the slap shots, the three-pointers, the touchdowns, the curling when the puck gets close to the circle. These are the heavy hitters of the franchise. Heavy hitters.
Cape Fear.
My number 5 is Jungle Fever.
Yeah. Excellent choice. Need a rewatch. Number 4, Barton Fink.
That's my number 4.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. My number 3 is JFK.
My number 3 is Boys in the Hood, and a solemn R.I.P. to the great John Singleton.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. My number 2 is The Fisher King.
My number 2 is My Own Private Idaho.
Ooh. All right. And the number 1 movie of 1991, I believe we have the same movie, but I could be wrong, The Silence of the Lambs.
The Silence of the Lambs, eh? That's your number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, it's mine too.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
You weren't pulling any wool over my eyes.
Oh, okay. Child's Play 3, Henry.
Yeah.
How about these great opening credits?
Refresh me memory.
I don't even totally remember it, but I wrote this note, fucking baller opening credits. There's like a situation where it's like, first it's swirly. It looks like the beginning of a fucking Hitchcock movie.
Right.
And then we see like Chucky, like, what is it, in like reverse? Being like like put into like wax and shit.
Yeah, well, he's like, it's swirling around, like you said, and drops of his blood from all go into this vat.
Right.
And then he's basically reconstructed it like perfect, like anew, without any dents or scratches.
I know, and you can't really think about it, but it looks cool.
Yeah, sure. Of course it does. The effects are getting a little bit better every time.
I think so. So
yeah.
what did we do with Chucky here? We made him. We remade him. He was like a husk of a bloody husk,
right?
Sitting in this factory, and it like his blood, which I guess have his soul in it, was reconstructed into another doll.
Right, a brand new doll.
So he's Chucky again.
He's Chucky again.
He's lucky they were making that same doll.
It's true. Well,
he could have been turned into a fucking Barbie or something.
That's a very good point. I mean, the CEOs and execs at the corporate office, the villainous Mr. Sullivan comes back. They decide that it was their best-selling doll, sort of confirming my suspicions last week that, if anything, the sales, because of the controversy, probably put it through the roof.
Well, they seem to imply that they took it off the shelves for a while. Right. And then they're like, that shit was a blip. No one even remembers that stupid fucking Andy Barclay. And so, like, why not just put it back on shelves? People have, like, a nostalgic renaissance for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Despite the hedging of one person in the room, which is a scene that is so bizarre it leads to absolutely nothing. Remember when the Sullivan's like, we're going to go ahead, and then the guy's like, wait, I must, over my strongest objections. He's like, I'll remember that. End scene.
Oh, interesting. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I kept thinking like the guy would come back or something for some reason. No,
I'm glad we didn't. I'm glad we didn't spend too much time in these fucking corporate offices. As much as I do like that guy's office.
Well, it is a beautiful office and a great desk.
I love a toy exec's office, Henry, because he's an executive, but it's for a toy company. So it's like this big, huge office in a high-rise with a sleek desk and, like, black leather couches. But then there's some toys hanging around.
Some toys hanging around, and despite it being 1991, it did surprise me he didn't have a little bit better of a television set.
I know, but I just love that in the script, like Don Mancini wrote, we need an executive and we need an office. And Jack Bender's like, all right, get me black leather, get me a fucking cigar for this guy to be chomping on, and get me a cool glass of whiskey on the rocks.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's got his cigar, he's got his scotch or whatnot, and he's got his remote, and he's set. And he's watching the stocks.
That's right, yeah.
No, they got this guy down. Good villainous actor. Yeah.
All right. Meanwhile, how many years are we later?
8.
It's like, okay. So it's 8
years.
8-year time jump, which I consistently have a problem with in horror franchises particularly.
Yeah. I didn't mind it in this, though. I mean, it makes sense.
Henry.
Yeah.
Does this movie take place in 1998?
Oh, right. Oh. Ooh.
And
good point.
Therefore, does Bride of Chucky take place in 2006?
Oh, no.
Because they're listening to an awful lot of Cold Chamber in that movie for that to be true.
You know what? For once, maybe the first time ever for stuff we've covered, I didn't even think about that. I kept thinking, all right, we're still in 91.
It was... Oh, really? Okay. No, Well, I started to think about.
Right thing.
Wait a second. I think the thing I buy more is if perhaps Child's Play, the original, takes place in like 1982.
Right. I mean, I don't remember at this point. I don't think they ever said on a title card or anything, Chicago 1988, or right? I mean,
And Catherine Hicks looks like she could have been plucked from the 70s.
Absolutely. So I guess you could go that route. Sure.
That's the route I went.
I'm right there with you. Yeah.
All right. So he gets put into a doll, the Chucky doll. By the way, we see a few other good guy dolls in this movie. We see a Larry doll and a Paulie doll, but they all look like Chucky.
They're all the same doll, just with different names. I think we saw that already.
But why give them different hair or something, like the Ninja Turtles bandanas?
Yeah, I don't know. You're right about that. All I thought about is when he said Paulie, I immediately thought of Paulie's robot in Rocky IV.
Of course.
That's
as you would.
That's instantly what I thought of. I was like, oh, another talking robot with Paulie involved. Yeah.
It's true. Good point.
But yeah, he's brought the doll's in his office as the first one off the line, of course, out of the 1 million produced. It happens to be the demonized one.
And they did not clean this fucking bloody husk of wax from the factory line.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
But I guess they just started the machine again remotely because nobody actually works at that factory.
No, we know that already, right? You established that last time by pointing out there was like a worker.
A security guard.
Automation, it's ruining America.
All right, so
He keeps him in a really cool way. I like that sequence. That was pretty good.
What happens?
Well, Chucky gets all the toys to come to life. The helicopter. Now, it did occur to me when these police cars and all these toys are attacking Sullivan. I dare say I didn't feel that any injury sustained from these toys would be fatal. I feel like at most you'd get like a little bump on the head from a tiny little remote control police car.
Hang on a second, Henry. You don't think that a toy helicopter could slash somebody's throat with its blades?
I really don't feel like it would pass the safety inspection of Mattel's safety guards if it could actually do something like that.
This isn't Mattel. What is it, like Funko? Something like that.
It is Play Pals.
Sure.
Play Pals.
Play Pals.
Yeah.
Funko, same thing.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. But ultimately, dude, I was actually trying to remember what actually killed him, and I didn't remember. How does he finally? Does Chucky just step in and stab him, or what? I don't remember.
I don't remember. You watched this more recently than I did.
I did. I certainly did. Yeah.
All right. Let's check in with Andy Barclay.
See what he's up to these days.
I'll tell you what, he's at military school. God, it gets the sad tale of Andy Barclay. It just gets worse and worse.
Very true.
Last time we saw him, he at least had Kyle in his corner. She seems to be gone now. He's just at this fucking military school where everybody hates him.
Right, as they are wont to do in a TAPS-like environment. Yeah. So, yeah, he's at Kent something or other.
Kent State.
Kent State.
Yeah.
No wonder
this movie was shot at Kent State.
It was 50 years ago. Can we make that joke?
Yeah.
Soldiers and Nixon's coming.
What was that?
That's the song Neil Young wrote about Kent State.
Right. Okay, so Andy has played. He's 16 now.
16.
And he's played by Justin Whalen.
Right.
But I saw that name in the credits, and so for the whole movie, I thought it was Sean Whalen.
Sean Whalen. Now, who is that?
He's a different actor who looks similar.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Maybe he's the kid from Career Opportunities?
Career Opportunities. No, that's Frank Whaley.
Oh, that's who I thought it was, Frank Whaley.
You thought this was Frank Whaley?
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome.
I don't know. So this Waylon kid, he was okay. He had like one expression, like, "Oh, I'm hurt by this all."
Yeah, he's all right. I honestly thought he was okay. His acting didn't bother me too much.
He's fine. First, he gets brought into so we get to see a procession of people being dicks to him, and the first it's like the headmaster, right?
Yeah.
Who's a great character actor who also played the headmaster of the Chilton School on, that's right, Gilmore Girls.
Oh, all right. Yeah, he is a great character actor.
Do you know his name?
Yes, it is Dakin Matthews.
That's right. Okay. I also highly enjoyed when he got shit from the hair cutter barber fella. All right, Brutus the Barber Beefcake over here.
Yeah. Of course, franchise crossover, Andy Robinson.
What was he in?
Dirty Harry, dude. He's fucking Scorpio.
He's fucking Scorpio?
Dude. Yeah.
Holy shit, dude.
You didn't know that? You
No.
didn't remember that? Yeah, remember the Scorpio, the man who dresses like Dan.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think my favorite villain we've come across on the franchise.
Sure.
Yeah. Scorpio fucking rules, dude. All right, so no wonder I like this barber guy.
Yeah. And he's also, you know him also from, like, Hellraiser.
He's in fucking Hellraiser?
He's the main guy in the first Hellraiser.
He's the main guy in Hellraiser?
Yeah, look at this guy. The astonishment. It's not often, folks, I get to astonish Dan with some little acting trivia. There you go. Yeah.
God, he is a character actor who I forgot to memorize his face somewhere along the way.
Yeah, he's playing this to the hilt, which is perfectly fine and appropriate. He's fucking Scorpio. He can do whatever he wants.
In his first fucking scene, he says, "You gotta cut the hair or else someone will grab you by it and slit your throat." So, like, the second he says that, you're like, oh, he's gonna get his throat slit by Chucky. And then it happens, and it's satisfying.
I didn't know. I didn't remember that. Sure. Yeah.
So, and then he gets this other kid's a dick to him, who's Shelton.
Yes.
Who seems to be a student there, but also seems to have, like, some authority.
Very odd. They keep calling him, he's a lieutenant colonel, but, I mean, it's a very confusing school to me. First of all, it's co-ed.
Yeah, it's a co-ed military school, and I don't think there were any teachers there. It was just like a headmaster, a barber, and then they have the students teaching the other students.
That's actually another great point that never occurred to me. You do not once see anybody in a class, and the age range seems to go from 6 to 25.
You're right, because there's that one character, what's his name, Tyler?
Yeah.
He's like a little black boy who's like running around.
He's an infant. And then you got De Silva.
Who's that? I don't remember De Silva.
The girl, the love interest.
Of course. Who I thought was pretty charming.
So did I. But she is like, come on now. I mean, I looked up, obviously, for my SH count. She's only 4 years older than Justin Whalen, but boy, in this movie, I feel like she's like 10 years older.
I had the same feeling, dude. Because she's 4 years older than Whalen, but Whalen was 17 when they made this movie, so she was 21. And, like, there's a difference between a 21-year-old and a 17-year-old. That's why there are laws.
That's right. And before I knew any of that, I looked that up after the movie, but when I was watching the movie, it was actually so glaring that when she came on screen and we met her, I absolutely thought for sure, I was just like, well, that's not going to be the love interest. It'll be like the plucky, best, tough friend that he has. I
knew it was going to be a love interest because she's the only female character in this entire fucking movie.
I didn't think he'd have a love interest. I mean, once I saw her and I was like, oh, well, she's like,
Listen, this poor Andy Barclay, we can at least get his dick wet in Child's Play 3.
Oh, I was happy for him. There's no doubt. But it just didn't occur to me till when they made out. I was just like, holy shit.
Yeah. It was a little uncomfortable.
Not for him.
Not for him, no. So he had a real fuck. What's the Terminator 2 kid's name?
Eddie Furlong.
Yeah, an Eddie Furlong situation going there. There you go. Okay. So what? Chucky mails himself.
Yeah. Looks him up on an old computer and finds him at this military school, mails himself to the place, and is determined to get delivered to Andy. But then Tyler is given the errand of delivering said package. It falls down the stairs because everybody's a dick and knocks it out of the little kid's hands. And Tyler decides to take it for himself. And then
that is fucked up, by the way. Like, when Tyler opens Andy's mail, and then, like, he gets found out. And still, he's like, that's mine. He's just decided that this doll is his.
Well, he's a kid. Little kid. You know. I don't think they teach you great morals in places like this, so.
What are you talking about? How dare you say that about the U.S. Armed Forces? Come on.
Nothing but the best.
Happy Independence Day this week, gang.
The proud, the Kent people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in what was a twist for me, because I didn't remember shit about this movie other than it took place in a military school. I did remember that. But when Chucky comes out and confronts Tyler, he then comes to the realization that he's got a new body.
That's right. See, now
doesn't have to play by those rules anymore.
Correct. So he doesn't. That's a pretty good Brad Dourif, by the way.
Thank you, Andy. I don't need you anymore.
All right. Well, upon realizing that little Tyler, I'll stress this again, black boy, might be his new body. Can you quote what Chucky says there?
How about that, Andy? Chucky's gonna be a bro.
Yeah.
I did laugh at that line at how fucking awful it is, and at the same time funny.
Yeah, I laughed a lot at that line
because right now it feels ironic, but it also feels fucking funny because it totally would be something Chucky would say.
Yep, it's been removed from TV airings of Child's Play 3. Yeah.
Oh,
well,
right.
Because it's horribly racist, but
it still made me laugh because I just sometimes Chucky still four movies into this still shocks me with what comes out of his little doll mouth.
Oh, look at you! You know,
and that was one of those moments where I was just kind of like did like a double take. I was just like, oh my god, I can't believe he just said that.
Is him saying that any worse than Curly in City Slickers 2 saying, I didn't realize I came up with here with a goddamn musical?
I would say that the musical line is much less offensive. I did not think that was the Curly line you were going to pick.
Curly doesn't use the F word, right?
Right. It's not Curly. It's one of the terrible rapist cowboys who says the F word.
That's in the first one.
Right. Mm-hmm. No, this is more offensive. Somehow it coming from Chucky, I don't know, lessens its impact. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Maybe, Hank.
What you're going to take the safe stand, right, and say, oh, no, it's awful.
Well, I mean, it is awful, but that doesn't mean I didn't laugh at it.
Exactly right.
All right. So Andy sets up his room in the military school, and I will say that he pulls out a nice picture of his mother.
Oh shit!
And yes. I'll also say that later Chucky is going through a computer file, and we get a nice shot of original Andy actor.
You're right about that. I guess it's time for this then.
It's a photo bomb because we couldn't get the actors because we couldn't afford them. So get on the photo bomb.
There you go.
Yeah.
Important stuff.
It's very important stuff. Yeah.
All right. So fucking Andy finally cottons on to the fact that Chucky's around. and he takes charge of the situation. He tries to get him away from Tyler, but then he's got to steal him away from this Shelton kid. Big confrontation scene, and Shelton's fucking pissed because he wanted to give Chucky to his
kid sister. He's got a really strange lisp. By the way, the bro comment wasn't the most offensive racial part of this movie.
Tell me.
And I'm surprised you did not feel this way. But maybe you did, and you're just so used to it. I would like to point out that Andy's roommate, the shrewish Jewish geek with the glasses and the hair named Sheldon or Howard or something. My God, folks.
Yeah, well, that's been Jewish representation.
Oh, I know.
My whole life.
It was just
that's
like,
why Munich was so exciting, Henry.
Absolutely, I know. Christ, I'm not Jewish, and it was exciting for me. Yeah, they give him the last name of Whitehurst, I guess, to make him more Anglican, but I wasn't buying it.
No, yeah, I didn't care for that character, and I thought he'd be, that character should have been like a Styles type.
That would have been actually much cooler,
right? Because Andy's so sullen, he needs like a fun friend.
Right, you're right, absolutely. That would have been a good call. Yeah, no, we gave him this awful wimp who doesn't ever do anything except at the end.
Right, and the girl character who's just there to be a cute girl.
Right.
Yeah. So ultimately they chase Chucky onto some fairgrounds. Is that right? Well,
Chucky kills a bunch of people. He kills the barber.
Oh, of course. I'm sorry.
I really like the death of the headmaster.
When Chucky gives him a heart attack.
Oh my God, that was so fucking funny.
I know.
You gotta be fucking kidding me. That line alone got me.
Glorious.
It was very fucking funny. That guy gets killed in a trash compactor. That was good.
And he replaces the paintballs with real bullets during war games, and so a bunch of kids die there, which is fun.
Yeah. That was also shocking. Again, sometimes I don't know why I keep.
It's because it's about a little doll, and so it disarms you, Henry. That's the whole game of this franchise.
I think it's just some of the but I think it's some of the deaths. It's just odd. Like, I think in this one maybe it was the kids getting killed where I was a little taken aback. Where they killed the bad what's his name, Shelton. Just gets shot through the chest.
Listen, I am all for more kids dying in movies. I think they should have killed Tyler in this movie.
Oh, we've had this discussion. Absolutely. Break the taboo. It's annoying when they don't.
That's right. Yeah. Kill them all!
The Whitehurst heroically and unnecessarily dives on top of a grenade.
Oh, I fucking loved that. Oh, right. You know what? My note for that, Henry, even is I wrote, Jew boy jumps on grenade.
His one act of courage that he has in his life, and he dies.
Takes his life. Henry, what this line here... Why did I write this down? This is my rifle. This is my gun. This is for sharing. Or this is for shooting. This is for fun.
This is my rifle. This is my gun. This is for fighting. This is for fun. Full Metal Jacket.
Oh, that's why I wrote that?
It's a direct lift, homage, whatever you want to call it, to Full Metal Jacket. Clearly the people in this movie who are in the academy, you would imagine probably got off watching that first hour of Full Metal Jacket.
Sure. So I didn't even know it was a Full Metal Jacket reference. I probably just wrote it down because it seemed out of place, and that explains why.
Yeah, it did seem a little out of place, but that's it. Yeah, it's Full Metal Jacket. 4 years prior. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, it's a pretty fresh reference.
Right. Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, I even read that one of the reasons, well, at least what Mancini said was one of the reasons that he did not like this movie was, which I thought was odd, but he said he thought the casting of Tyler, he was too old for the part. Meanwhile, to me, he looks like he's extremely young.
Yeah, he's a little baby.
And he didn't like the casting of Dakin. What's his name?
What?
That's what he said.
Listen, those are the last of the fucking problems with this movie.
I totally agree. He wanted a more R. Lee Ermey type. It's like, well, there's only one R. Lee Ermey.
I see what he's going for, though. He wanted it to be a real, because, like, that guy has such a face that, like, he's like empathetic even when he's being villainous.
Maybe. I mean, but I feel like you could tell he's a good enough actor.
Yeah, he probably wants a Robert Patrick in there, something like that.
Yeah. Robert Patrick. He had better things to do in 1991.
Yeah, that was the only time in his life he had better things to do. 3 years later, he was playing the villain in Double Dragon.
Yeah. Well.
Okay, they chase him onto the fairgrounds, and that's the big set piece, like the factory was in the second one.
Right.
And it works pretty well.
Yeah, it does. It's fine. I mean,
it might not be as good as the fairground sequence in Strangers on a Train or something, but like,
the Third Man,
or maybe Fear.
Fear with Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, you better believe it.
Love it. Sure. Yeah, not quite in that, or Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Oh, I will say it's better than Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Yeah,
that was so bad, dude.
That was real bad.
Sometimes I think about it. Like, sometimes I'll just be sitting there and it crosses my mind how bad Beverly Hills Cop 3 was.
One of the worst things we've ever covered. Doesn't Lucas show up in that sequence?
Yep, that's the scene.
Right.
So, what do you give this movie? Wait, how does it end, first of all?
Basically...
they blow up Chucky again?
Yeah, I mean, we get to hear Chucky for the fucking 300th time recite his Cajun ritual.
I love it. I like it every time he does it.
I'm starting
Give
to
me
memorize
the power!
Yeah, I know. What is it? I'll get it by the end of this series. I bet I'll have the whole thing memorized. Yeah, and so he's strangling Annie, and Andy cuts his hand off and just kind of tosses Chucky into the fucking haunted house fan, because there's one of those in everyone.
That's right, of course, yeah.
He's in more difficult ways, so that was a pretty easy, quick death. He didn't have to kill him 1,000 different times.
That's true. I do think the first two, Chucky seemed more immortal or whatever. They wrapped this baby up pretty quick at the end there. He gets eaten up by those fan blades, and it's pretty good. It's satisfying.
Yeah,
anytime you throw a guy in a fan blade, it's pretty good.
It was Dan's favorite part of Alien 3, when the guy gets sucked into the wind tunnel.
That's true.
I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Alien 3 was a movie that wasn't afraid of killing kids, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, the newt sequence, right?
Yeah.
Right. Off screen.
Off screen, great stuff. Yeah. Coen brothers were like, I hear you, Alien 3. I'm going to use that.
Yeah. Well, they got the animal thing monopolized, so.
Indeed. Henry, what do you give this movie?
2 stars.
Me too. Who's your MVP?
I mean, I feel like after this discussion, I want to give it to Andy Robinson, but I thought De Silva was in the movie a lot and gave another strong.
Is that the girl?
Yeah.
I was gonna go with her, and after the convo, I'm going with Andy Robinson because he's my new favorite character actor.
Absolutely, he is. Yeah, it's the third Child's Play in a row where I've given it to the female lead. I'm happy with this trend. It's nice.
I will say Don Mancini. Not that this really means anything, but he is he's for a long time been an out gay man. In the realm of horror, which is very, I mean, it's as rare as it was for a long time in film. It's even rarer in the horror genre,
right? And
so, that's that. Maybe he can write a better female lead than most of these franchises can muster.
Interesting. Who's your LVP?
You know, I was annoyed every time that what's his face was on screen.
Whitehurst?
No, the villain kid.
Oh, Shelton?
Shelton, yeah.
Yeah, I almost picked him, but then I sort of realized I don't think he's that bad. It's just his character is just, we've seen it.
No, I think that's right. I'm not going to blame the actor too much. I just thought it was a fucking loud,
Annoying
shrill character.
Yeah, well, that's how I felt about not loud and shrill. Just Whitehurst is my LVP. I just couldn't. He made my skin crawl every time he was on screen. It was just embarrassing and
You
sad.
know who they should have gotten to play the headmaster?
Who?
Here's who they could have gotten. Buster Poindexter. He would have done that role.
Not the Shelton character.
No, I mean, because Mancini didn't like that casting. He wanted R. Lee Ermey.
Where the hell did you come with that?
I was thinking of actors who could have pulled that off, man.
Fucking Poindexter?
Yeah.
And if you wanted a song and dance number in the middle of it, I guess. Snorting coke off an NYC cab. I don't know.
Yeah, car 54.
Where are you? All right. So, is that it for?
Yeah. What the fuck? Who's your what's superhero count?
E.
What?
3.
Okay.
Justin Whalen played for many, many episodes fucking Jimmy Olsen in Lois and Clark.
That's right. Yeah. He's Jimmy.
That.
He was a regular.
Okay. Yeah. And the girl who played Kristen De Silva is an actress named Perry Reeves. And this is a little, I don't do this often, but I made the extra effort to extend my writing hand to write one more sentence. She was in the 1990 show The Flash, playing a character named Pepper. Guess what the name of the episode was?
Tell me.
Child's Play.
Wow. Weird.
Very weird, right? Before this movie. How fucking odd is that?
Yeah, it is odd. Interesting.
It's like, should I write that? And my hand was like, no. And my brain was like, yeah. So I wrote it.
I think it made for a great moment in this episode.
That's what I think. And lastly, but not at all leastly, Andy Robinson, of course, played Dr. Stan Rhodes in the 70s TV show The Incredible Hulk.
Okay. Well, that was great stuff, gang.
I was happy with that. 4 live action things, and they were all kind of interesting. And I got sort of the same thing for the next movie, so I'm happy now.
Well, I'll tell you what the next movie is, Henry.
What's the next thing we're doing now?
Bride of Chucky.
All right.
Okay. Now, this comes to us a great many years later. Scream had come up, set the world alight. And they went to Don Mancini, and they were like, more Chucky, please.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, he wrote this movie. We have a new director, Ronnie Yu.
Who we've covered.
Have we?
Oh, my God, dude.
Oh, we did Freddy versus Jason?
Yeah?
I didn't realize that. Okay, yeah, Ronnie Yu, he this was his second movie as a director. He'd done like a kids movie before this. I say as a director in America, because he directed a shit ton of stuff in China.
Yeah.
And so Bride of Chucky he makes. That's his next movie. After that, it's Formula 51, which tanks. Then Freddy versus Jason. And then he heads back to China.
Yeah.
All right.
See why.
I can see why, too. He wasn't cut out for it. I mean, I like Bride of Chucky, okay, and I like Freddy versus Jason. Yeah. But this isn't the greatest director. I don't think even those movies, which I enjoy, look too hot.
No, I mean, yeah, he's a serviceman, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think he's any worse or better than your average typical placeholder.
Sure, but I mean, if you're gonna hire like a workman-like director, maybe hire someone who can speak to the rest of the crew.
Yeah.
All right.
I am so leaving that one alone.
I read that he
have a long history.
I read that he was working with translators.
Uh-huh.
All right.
This would be a hard movie to get your points across. Jesus Christ.
It was released October 16th, 1998. A budget too high of $25 million. And it comes in at a box office of $50.7 million, which is number 62 at the 1998 BO. Right there between Mercury Rising and A Night at the Roxbury.
Wow.
Yep.
Mercury Rising, is that the fucking Alec Baldwin vehicle?
Well, it's a Bruce Willis vehicle where Alec Baldwin is the villain.
There you go.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I, of course, saw Mercury Rising, A Night at the Roxbury, and Bride of Chucky in theaters.
In theaters, sure.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll tell you what. This movie was nominated for an MTV Movie Award.
Oh, all right. I don't know why I'm clearing my throat. It's a pre-recorded song. Hold on. I want my MTV.
Okay, so Chucky himself was nominated for Best Villain.
Fair enough.
And I'll tell you what, he lost in a tie. The winner was a tie, and he still didn't win.
Jeez.
So a real fuck you to Chucky. And it was a tie between Stephen Dorff in Blade.
Okay.
And Matt Dillon in There's Something About Mary.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I thought, actually, I swear to God, dude, I thought you were going to say the one of the ties was Godzilla.
No, people didn't like that movie.
Well,
it had heat behind it. Like, people were excited for that movie, but people didn't like it.
Yeah. All right. Good.
That Godzilla movie.
I know. Here we go.
It is still by far the best American Godzilla movie.
Hard disagree.
It is. Okay. Do you have your 1998 list? Because I do. I made it right before the podcast.
He sure did, folks. And I have my original 98 list all the way back from 2011. So
you want to hear my HMs?
Sure.
Okay. Here they are. The X-Files, The Wedding Singer, The Faculty, A Simple Plan, The Opposite of Sex, Pi, Velvet Goldmine, and Hurricane Streets.
I've seen all except Velvet Goldmine and Hurricane Streets, and I agree with all of your HMs.
Oh,
how about
thank
that?
you. I love it.
Yeah, I don't think there was one you named that I was thinking as you went, oh, no, that's shit. Yeah.
Let's see if you agree with my list.
We'll find out. All right, you go first this time. Then.
Okay, my number 10 is He Got Game.
Son of a bitch. All right, that's going to be going right now.
No, come on.
No, I won't. Then I'll throw it on as an HM this time. That's why I needed to redo this list. Of course, that's ridiculous. I love that movie, but my number 10 I remember being very good too, and that is Bulworth.
Oh, a fine movie.
Not anywhere near He Got Game, but
I think. What do you think? Said more about
the African American
experience.
I would venture to say the Spike Lee joint than the Warren Beatty situational comedy with Halle Berry
and Praz. Okay.
And
my number 9 is American History X.
That is my number 9.
Okay. My number 8 is Your Friends and Neighbors.
Another good movie. Not on my list, and I'm not worried about that. But number 8 is a great movie. That is Buffalo 66.
Yep. My number 7 is Out of Sight.
Great movie. My number 7 is Rounders.
Okay, movie. My number 6 is Snake Eyes.
Okay. So now we're at the point where any of your HMs basically could be fit into your list easily, and
if they were as good as Snake Eyes.
You're putting in personal faves. It's fine. We all do it.
I stand by it. It's one of De Palma's best.
I like shite. You like shite. We all like shite. All right. Number 6, great movie, Out of Sight.
All right, heavy hitters.
Yep.
My number 5 is The Truman Show.
Okay. Yeah. Never really got much into that movie, but it's a good movie.
I think it's a masterpiece.
Do you really?
I really do.
Yeah, I like it. I don't know.
And I rewatch that every couple of years, and I feel like it gets better with age.
That's interesting, yeah. I would certainly rewatch it. I saw it in theaters and then maybe one other time. So, number 5, Rushmore.
Great movie. My number 4 is Buffalo 66.
All right. My number 4 is Pi.
Mm-hmm. My number 3 is Happiness.
Yes. My number 3 is Run Lola Run.
My number 2 is The Thin Red Line.
That is my number 2.
Okay, and my number 1 movie of 1998 is Rushmore. Oh, God, yours is fucking Big Lebowski. All right, go ahead.
My number 1 movie is indeed The Big Lebowski. Having said that, looking back, even though I did recently praise that movie to the high heavens and never will stop doing that, looking within the year 1998, I do feel like The Thin Red Line is probably the best movie of that year.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, maybe even for you then?
Well, I would certainly say that Terrence Malick's epic war movie, which was different from any war movie that had ever come before it, might be a little better than the Coen brothers' fart comedy.
Which was also a movie unlike any that had come before it. What was your number 1 again?
Rushmore.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Thin Red Line's probably better than both, but that's okay.
Rushmore's a perfect film. Okay.
So all right.
Bride of Chucky. All right. It's a dark and stormy night.
It is indeed.
All right. We're looking at a police evidence locker.
Pretty good stuff. Yeah.
All right.
I was very glad in a way. I mean, I think it would have worked either way, but I was very glad that on the prior show, right before we signed off air, you had told me, or you didn't say to me, you said to the audience how we'll be entering the post-Scream meta universe, and that was helpful. Having never seen it, so then
this is very much from that I Know What You Did Last Summer, urban legend, self-aware era of horror movies.
Unbelievable. I mean, I really didn't think of much more than Scream, even though I've seen the ones you're talking about. But anyway, it helped to go in there. So tell us. I did a pretty thorough plot description of 3. So why don't you get us started on this?
All right, so we're looking at Jason's hockey mask, which is not Jason's hockey mask. It just looks like a Bobo random hockey mask. And Michael Myers' mask and Leatherface's chainsaw, right?
Yeah, I missed that until I reread the plot. I did not catch that. And if I did, I didn't even make the connection. But yeah, continue.
All right, so now we're going to get started. Let's meet this crew. Let's get our opening credits going. And you know what that means, Henry. Dig through the ditches and burn through the witches and slam in the back of my Dracula.
Yeah, it was a relentless and awful soundtrack. I thought of you right away.
You know,
obviously, with the exception of Rob Zombie, obviously, yes. I believe there was a Judas Priest song in there somewhere. I don't know how that got in there, but
yeah, for the most part, it was the hot shit of its day. It was a lot like the Scream 3 soundtrack. I'll say that I couldn't believe a Rob Zombie song started this movie.
Why?
That's the first thing. Just because, like, I don't know. I should have known.
Yeah, that's odd. It didn't surprise me at all.
So first, it's like, oh my god, it's a Rob Zombie song. oh my God, it's fucking Living Dead Girl.
Yeah.
Wait, I sung Dragula before. How does Living Dead Girl go?
I wouldn't know.
Is that also? I think I'm maybe conflating those two songs.
The only one in this movie that I knew of his, I mean, I guess I knew most of them, but was when Chucky turns on the radio. It's Thunder Kiss 65. That I got right away.
Oh, Space Bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Monster Magnet. Yeah. Living Dead Girls. Right. Fucking Monster Magnet. That was the hot shit, dude.
What a year.
Yeah.
Although that also was the year Marcy Playground and Fastball had hits. So.
Well, they were great. Fastball's an incredible band, and Marcy Playground, that hit was good. Yeah. But I saw them live, and the rest is pretty generic.
That's not surprising to me.
All right, so we go through Living Dead Girl, and it's the title. It says title song by Rob Zombie. Weirdly.
Yeah, it was odd, but
yeah.
I guess he wanted to be on the credits of a Chucky movie. Piece of shit.
This fall, the third movie in the Devil's Rejects trilogy is coming out. Maybe we should cover that.
Very exciting. Very exciting.
A big return of Rob Zombie to the franchise.
The Devil's Rejects' own and presidential candidate Rob Zombie.
That's right, baby. Okay, so what's going on? We meet. Is it
Jenny Tilly?
That's who we meet first.
The cop, who passes all the artifacts, including, by the way, Freddy Krueger's glove, and. Yeah, so he gets this bag, a garbage bag, puts it in his car, meets Jennifer Tilly in an abandoned warehouse, good idea, and tries to take a peek in that bag.
Yeah.
Well for him.
So right, of course. And so Tilly, she is playing a new character named Tiffany, who was apparently Charles Lee Ray's... Is that his name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good job.
It was his girlfriend when he died.
Right.
Also, by the way, can I just say it's established at some point in Child's Play 3 that Charles Lee Ray's nickname when he was like a serial killer was Chucky?
How do you mean it was established that was his nickname?
It is mentioned, like among his cohorts. It might be in this one because they might have said this is what Tiffany calls him.
Yeah, I believe it's this one.
Okay, so his fucking name, they called him Chucky, and then he ended up in a Chucky doll.
No, my friend, no. How I always took it is simply that when he inhabited the doll in the first movie, he named himself because he is Charles.
No.
Chuck is Charles. That's the same name.
I know, but it is established that when he was out there in the 80s, killing people as a human, his acquaintances referred to him as Chucky.
Okay, that's possible.
But
so what?
The doll is called Chucky. That's such a coincidence.
No, it's not.
What?
Because each doll has their own name. He can't.
No, but this is a Chucky doll.
No, it's a good guy doll.
But the good guy's name is Chucky.
Oh my God. I think the listeners are going to have to weigh in on this because this is interesting. I think what you brought up is very interesting. I just never took it that way. From the first time he says, I'm Chucky, want to play, I always was like, well, sure, he's calling himself Chucky because he's... I
believe it says Chucky on the box.
Now, if that's right, then you're right. I do not recall ever seeing the name Chucky written.
All right, get back to us, listeners.
Yeah, get to us. Now I'm intrigued.
Yeah. So
anyway, so
Tiffany is Chucky's ex from when he was a human.
Which also made me very confused because I was always, even from the first movie, trying to figure out, they call him the Lakeshore Strangler, right? But he really appears as though he's more of a armed robber / murderer, and he'd have a girlfriend. The Lakeshore Strangler.
Well, he does have a girlfriend.
It really feels like if that's his MO, that he would not be in a relationship.
But no, I think this is the Bride of Chucky is treating the serial killer community the way John Wick treats the assassin community. Because
okay.
like
Sure.
Tiffany is friends with that one dude who's played by Alexis Arquette, and he's like a wannabe serial killer. And she, it seems, is a serial killer. So maybe she like met Chucky at a serial convention.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Serial convention. CER. Yeah, she was already kind of obviously doing a very bad seed. No pun intended. But yeah, okay. Fair point.
Sure. All right. So Tilly wants to resurrect Chucky.
Yes, she certainly does.
Right. So ultimately, she does. So Chucky comes to life and kills Alexis Arquette, her androgynous friend.
Yeah, she does the ritual too, so we get to see Jennifer Tilly doing the give me the power.
Give me the power.
Dude, that's great. Now you have a Jennifer Tilly, and I have a Chucky impression.
Sounds good.
Hi-ho. All right.
All right. So Tilldog fucking resurrects Chucky. Chucky kills Alexis Arquette, and then what happens? They fuck.
No, they sort of. Let me see here. Let me
there's. I'm thinking she starts to fuck Alexis Arquette, and then like Chucky joins in.
Yeah, I mean he smothers the guy with a fucking pillow after she chains him up.
Right.
And then, I think after he dies, they go right into talking, and then basically the turning point right there is that he had stolen some big ring off of some rich broad, and she had always taken that as an engagement ring, which he very unwisely.
Right. That ring you found on my dresser?
Yeah.
Hey, bitch! It wasn't for you. I was gonna pawn that.
Chucky's Brooklyn brother.
Yeah.
Louis. Yeah. So he laughs her. She puts him in a little playpen. Ooh.
Yeah, that hurts his pride. Even though, he's confident. He says he's anatomically correct, which doesn't make any sense.
No, it certainly doesn't. Yeah.
So, he gets locked up, but then he finds a way to chisel his way out of there.
Yeah.
Because what does he like? Does she like throw the ring at him or something?
Yeah, right? Yeah. And I guess he uses that, I think.
Yeah.
So funny. I love seeing the superpowers that Chucky has and doesn't have. In that way, he's not too different than a lot of our favorite villains of the horror franchises we've covered, where he fucking gets himself out of a lot of situations in all these movies, but he cannot get out of that little wooden playpen.
Well,
can't do it.
He's trapped, dude. He doesn't want to make waves, so he waits a while. Then he gets out of there.
I see. It was all premeditated.
Oh, okay. So Jennifer Tilly puts him in there with like a female doll.
Right.
And that's to like taunt him. See, now you're engaged. And then, so he's in there and he gets out and uses the spell, so we get to hear him do it.
Yeah, he kills her, and so I thought that was immediate disqualification for being resurrected, because you have to do it into a live body, but that's okay. We're bending the rules. He electrocutes her with a fucking television, right? She's watching Bride of Frankenstein.
She's watching Bride of Frankenstein in the tub,
right?
Which is something people only do in movies,
right?
And
True.
And so he pushes it in, and she gets electrocuted. It's a pretty good looking electrocution scene.
Yeah.
And then he puts her into the body of the Tiffany doll, this doll, right?
Basically just for revenge.
For revenge. He doesn't think it through because he wants to get them to New Jersey to his body.
Right.
But, well.
It's the amulet that's around his body.
Yeah, I know. We've got a little bit of a MacGuffin in this bad boy.
Oh.
So Tiffany becomes the doll. She takes to it right away. She accepts that she's a doll. She's just like, I can't look like this. I'll be a doll, fine, but take me to the nearest baby Hot Topic.
Yeah, right. Good call. Yeah, I was wondering about all that shit.
Yeah, because like some of it you get, right? She puts black lipstick on.
Yeah,
all right, fine, sure. Okay. But what about those little shoes?
That was when my mind went, what? Yeah, and the little jacket.
Yeah, she has a little leather jacket.
Unless she has other dolls lying around her trailer. That's all I could think of. Maybe she's got a doll collection. Who knows? I don't know.
And it is a trailer. So meanwhile, Tiffany is friends with a local tough. Okay.
Fucking guy.
What's his character's name? Do you know?
God. It's with a J because Katherine Heigl's
Jesse.
Jade.
It's Jesse.
Yeah.
It's Nick Stabile.
Yeah.
Stabile, as Henry would like us to say it.
Well, I don't give a fuck about this guy. I'm sure he goes Nick Stable, right? I'm sure he goes by that.
Probs. And
Nick Stable.
This dude is just a black hole on the screen.
I didn't think I would disagree with you, and I am predictably happy that we do not disagree. Wow. Just another one, huh? In a long line of vapid bodies that happen to inhabit a brain of some magnitude.
Allegedly a brain.
Who's the doll in this movie? I don't know, because the two dolls are awesomely personified compared to this fucking drone.
Yeah. So he kind of does work for Jennifer Tilly on the side, and Tilly flirts with him, but he is way too enamored of his lady love, Katherine Heigl.
Yeah, Katherine Heigl. Didn't know she was going to be in it until right before. I was looking at the movie a bit and just saw her name in the credits. I was like, wow, all right.
So she's playing a character named Jade, and she's living with her possibly molester uncle police chief.
No idea. I don't know this man's relation to her. It felt like
it was uncle. It seemed like he was a
stepfather.
I don't think so. I think he was like a touchy uncle who got custody of her.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Because she talks about her parents having died, correct? And
that's right.
I mean, who cares? But I didn't know what this guy was. Some sort of fucking guardian. Anyway, it's the great John Ritter.
Yep, the Rit himself is in this movie, and he's doing great. All right, love him. This is also the same year he played the killer robot who almost married Buffy's mom.
Oh.
Yeah, so this was his year of playing weird idiots who were trying to move in on families.
Interesting. All I thought of was, the thought went through my head, what was he doing at this time? And I didn't even look it up. I just was like, 3 years prior or 2 years prior, he was in Sling Blade. That's all I remembered.
This was probably around the 8 Simple Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughter. I mean, this is right before he died, right?
Did he die that long ago?
I feel like he died in like 2002 or something.
Jesus. I'm going to look now because I didn't know it was that long ago. Holy shit.
The Rit died on 9/11. He died on 9/11, Henry.
Oh my God. Yes, he did.
He died on 9/11.
Do you think they'll forget it? Forget it.
9/11, 2003.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, well, 3 was too much company for him.
Mm-hmm.
So.
His left ventricle detached.
Is that?
He called it the left tower.
Oh, this is where the emergency broadcast comes in, cuts us off the air for good. It's like, we've had it. Eep. Oh my God.
Okay.
That was a good joke. Though.
Great stuff. Okay, so
it's been a while, honestly, since
a 9/11 reference. Okay, so Heigl wants to go to the dance with Nick Stabile, and and so she gets her gay best friend to pose as her boyfriend so that John Ritter will let her go out because he doesn't like Stabile.
And so he can make fun of gay people. Right?
Well, of course.
You're a theater arts major, and you're what was the other one? Figure skater. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very 90s, you know. I happened to write down a list of 90s references in this movie. Like, it's so unapologetically 1998, this movie.
That was a lot.
Yeah, there's one scene, you smell like Christian Slater on New Year's Eve.
Which was one of the weirdest references to me, because Christian Slater, I mean, you're in 1998 and you're making Christian Slater references? That feels to me like feels like a 1992 reference or something.
No,
there's talking about Christian Slater.
Yes, because he was at that point he was famously a mess.
Oh, he was doing a Downey. Were those his Downey years?
Yeah.
Okay, it's hard for me to remember. All right, yeah.
I'll also say that there are multiple Jerry Springer references in this movie.
Okay.
And also, Tiffany does her spell by reading through the book Voodoo for Dummies.
True. Those were just coming out big time.
Those were huge at the time.
Yeah.
And I was surprised that Chucky's able to direct her to the exact page she needs in Voodoo for Dummies, as though he used that book in 1988.
Right, it was all a ruse. He never really studied with that voodoo guy. Yeah.
Good point, yeah.
It's just that Voodoo for Dummies book.
He had me buy that from B. Dalton.
B. Dalton, sure. Yeah.
All right, so anyway, Heigl and Stabile get caught by Ritter's deputy or whatever, and it's back to the dungeon for you.
Yeah, that guy's bad too.
You know, these characters, Heigl and Stabile, what I was thinking is, I think what they're going for is like a pure innocent kind of a thing. Like they're supposed to represent all the innocence in the world being corrupted over the course of the movie by Chucky and Tiffany. And so I kind of like the characterization of them as blank slates, because that's kind of what that sort of thing is. It's very much sort of like Hero of the Beach or like Archie and Betty. And they're in too much of the movie that they can't for that to work for the length of the movie.
I mean, I think she was a little more nuanced. I mean, I think it was refreshing when
I only think she's more nuanced because the director had no idea what he was doing. He didn't know what tone they were looking for from this.
Oh, that's very possible, sure.
And so fucking Heigl did her thing, which is have energy and be likable, and I mean that used to be her thing. And Stabile did his thing, which is to stand and have black hair.
I mean, I thought that she was a little. What I meant by nuanced was that she's not quite the virginess depicted as, because then it's kind of revealed they've had sex before, and they're like, she's not like some Snow White, which I think is implied when you first meet her. You know what I mean? But I don't know.
Yeah,
it's nebulous.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Either way, it's underdeveloped, I think, on purpose, but it's a blank space in the center of this movie.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
They go off on a road trip to find the fucking amulet. I mean, really, they go because Tiffany wrote a note to this boy asking if she could transport these dolls to New Jersey, which he agrees to do.
For $500 now, and wait, $500 later.
Sounds above board.
I love how he's like laying out all their plans. We're gonna move away, and I'll get a job, and I'll take care of you. And he goes through this whole thing. I'm like, dude, it's $1,000 fucking dollars.
It's $500. Let's be honest.
You're gonna spend that a lot of at least a fifth of that on 1/5 of that on gas getting there, and so you're already down 100.
There's no way you're getting that other fucking 500. No. You're gonna stop at a couple rest stops. You are moving away. 2 human beings in 1998 for $350.
If I could have done that, I would have lived in every state in the country by now. Yeah.
Same, bro.
Yeah.
I would have Kerouacked my way through this whole motherfucker.
$50? Yeah, of course. Yeah.
All right.
So they get a tax return, essentially. They get Bush's tax return. It's $300. Remember that one?
Oh, yeah, of course. That will live in infamy because of David Cross's classic bit about it. Of course it will.
I vote for you. I get $300. Sold, buddy. All right. Sorry.
Okay. Where are we headed next? So they pulls
up Ritter and kills her. That's why they go on the road for real, because they're running. Everyone thinks they've done it.
Right. They kill Ritter, and they put Ritter in they hide him in this guy's VW van or whatever.
Chucky and Tiffany, yes.
Yes. Right. And so Ritter, that's a pretty good image, I think, the nails in his face.
Yeah. Crithy.
Good. So the Rit is dead, presumably, but then he turns up alive, and they kill him some more.
Yeah, and then there you get another 90. You started, by the way, I'm sorry. I may have cut you off, or we may have just gone off on a tangent. Either is very possible. You were writing down the 90s references. We get one where they say that they're people think we're the new Mickey and Mallory.
I don't think I got that. What is that?
Really? I'm stunned.
What is it?
This is into the show where I caught a little bit more than you. The Mickey and Mallory. That's Juliette Lewis from fucking Natural Born Killers. Woody Harrelson and her.
Oh, you know what? That's really interesting because this movie, I was watching it thinking Mancini must have loved Natural Born Killers.
Well, there you go.
Because that's all it is. It's Natural Born Killers as dolls.
Pretty much. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that's a good catch.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, what the fuck happens next? The big road trip movie. They're on the run from the law. They end up in fucking Jersey. People keep dying on the way. They stop at a hotel that one night.
Right. They get their money, what's left of it, stolen by a pseudo swinger couple who turn out just to be kind of like.
I kind of loved them.
Yeah, they had more charisma than. Come on. So, they're on screen for 2 minutes, and you're like, oh, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous, but it is funny.
It is funny, and then Tiffany kills them in a pretty interesting way. What does she do? She tosses something up to the mirror that's facing the love bed.
That is ridiculous.
The shards of glass impale them. And burst the waterbed into turning into a big bloody bed.
She breaks a mirror, and they just both instantly die 1,000 different ways. I'm telling you, if you were under a mirror that broke, you'd get a few basic cuts.
Yeah, you'd have a scratch or two. It's kind of like the guy dying from the toys. Some stuff would happen, but.
How dense was the glass in this mirror?
it's made of plutonium. I mean, it's so heavy. I mean, they are ripped to shreds, and cuts the waterbed.
Love it.
Oh, and fuck Chucky and Tiffany.
Right, they have a big sex scene. They're using a lot of tongue. It's gross, but whatever.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yes. She says the comment about, do you have a rubber, right?
Oh, right, and he says that he's made of rubber.
Right.
And this is all foreshadowing her getting pregs at the end.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a feeling when I was watching it. I had a feeling.
All right. So in Jersey, there's a big controversy, a big confrontation, I should say, on the cemetery. They dig up Charles Lee Ray, and they end up getting killed again.
Yes. Also, we should remember that the token gay friend is run over by a very large truck.
I certainly wasn't going to skip that. That is the number one best moment in this movie. The fucking gay kid just backs into the street, gets run over by a truck. It is meaningless. It does not. I'm telling you, it is. This is the 90s version of the kid with the razor, the cuts in his mouth going into the hospital in Halloween 2.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I thought you were going to make a Wheels reference, but I didn't.
No, Wheels is absolutely essential to Friday the 13th Part 2. I just mean some weird outlier that's like, why was that in this movie?
Right, just to kill him, get a good death out of it. Yeah.
All right, so that's the end of the movie, and Tiffany gives birth, and that's weird.
Yeah, and continuing from 3, we're getting even really less thorough with killing Chucky. This time it's just a bullet. That's it.
Yeah, but don't they bury him?
Well, what they had said in the very first movie, which clearly didn't work in the first movie, even in the first movie, was shoot him through the heart. And so they kind of do that this time, but it works. And yes, they do bury him, but I think he dies before that. But
I guess. Hey, also, when they dig up Charles Lee Ray's body and they open the fucking coffin, why are there all this, like, rats in there?
I don't know. I was also wondering, I mean, I'm not an expert on the decomposition of bodies, but how long? Oh, no, now your timeline throws it in. Sure, because we're not 10 years from the original. We're 8 plus then.
Bride of Chucky, as far as I'm concerned, takes place 28 years after Child's Play. Sorry, 18 years. 18 years.
I don't think a body turns completely to.
I think I buy it.
Yeah, it's hardly the most unbelievable thing in the movie.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, that's a good point. We are talking about a movie featuring
the forensic pathology of the
angry serial killer dolls who fuck and get pregnant.
But what about that body? Yeah, so therefore there are rats, which Indiana Jones would have been happy about.
Rats, why don't have to be rats? So also the other great moment in this movie, Henry, is someone says spell woman. And Chucky goes, B-I-T-C-H.
He has a speaking spell.
Oh, that's right. It's a fucking speaking spell.
I didn't think those were still around in 1998 to even use in a movie, but I guess they were.
Yeah, that was glorious.
Spell.
All right. Anything else you have to say about this movie?
Not particularly.
All right. I guess I don't either, man.
Yeah, I mean, it was entertaining. I'll say that. I'd never seen it before. It was more entertaining than I thought it was going to be. I wasn't, a fan or anything. It's got some big problems, but at this point, the bar is so fucking low that I was pleasantly at a 2.
I think Bride of Chucky has some nice energy for a fourth installment. I think the 8 years or 7 years between movies helped them. I think the series has a renewed sense of purpose. It is a little goofier than the first three, which I actually think works in its favor. This is not a masterpiece by any means. Where we are now in the series, I think probably the only Child's Play movie I think this is better than is Child's Play 3. But I think this is a pretty reasonably solid entry in this franchise, and I'm going to go 3.
Wait, okay, but you just said so far you said Child's Play 3 is... I don't think you meant to say that.
I think the only one I like Bride of Chucky more than is Child's Play 3.
Oh, okay. That's fair. I could see that. Yeah.
I thought it was pretty solid 3. Okay.
All right, I'm going a 2.
Who's your MVP?
You know what? Guess who I'm giving it to?
Who are you giving it to?
It is high time because you know what? Without him, it really stuck out to me. It stuck out to you. It stuck out to me that Brad Dourif is really, really amazing.
He's the lifeblood of this series.
I mean, he really is. And I was just thinking about, when I was watching it, I was thinking about the roles he's had. We talked about him last week, and I was thinking about, the fucking guy really is putting on a show here, and I think it's great. And he is so much dialogue in this movie.
That's the thing. In the Child's Play, the three right, that are titled Child's Play, we're always following the dude Chucky's after.
Right.
And starting from Bride of Chucky, as far as I know, I've only seen to Seed of Chucky. These movies are about Chucky.
Yeah, and he just carries
it.
He's hilarious. So he was an easy MVP for me.
And I'm going to give an MVP to Jennifer Tilly because I really think she's funny in this movie and sexy and weird. Yeah. She's a very weird energy.
She is. I agree.
Yeah, I thought. I mean, this was the height of her career. Weirdly, I mean, around this time, even though she's in a Bride of Chucky, but she was in a lot of really good stuff around here. She's very funny in Liar Liar, and she's great in Bound, and I think she's really good in this.
No, I agree with you. I had, going in, I was thinking, and even for the first, half hour, so I was thinking I was going to give it to her, but then it just kind of hit me that Brad Dourif really just nails it, but I totally see it. My LVP is Jesse Nick Stable.
Same. Fuck that guy.
He's terrible.
Charisma vacuum. Okay,
vacuum.
Boom.
All right. We have a 4 count on the superheroes.
Let's hear them.
Yeah. John Ritter played Dr. David Wheeler in Batman Beyond.
Okay. And he was, of course, in Season 2, Episode 10 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Excuse me, Episode 11. Yeah, 11.
That's what everyone knows him from.
Yeah. Hey, when the Emmys did their career, the In Memoriam at the Emmys, they showed a clip from that.
Is that right?
Yeah, I got excited.
Hey, why not? All right, this is great because these next 3 I wrote what character they played, but this is how memorable their names were. I don't fucking know, but Lawrence Dane, I believe he played Lieutenant Preston. I would imagine that was the sidekick to John Ritter.
He looks like an old fellow.
Oh, right. No. So that's the old guy at the end, the old cop.
Okay.
Yes, correct. He was in. He played Dr. Alfred Hathaway in Darkman 2: The Return of Durant.
Love it. Oh my God, we were all. Do you remember that summer, Henry? Everyone was buzzing about Durant coming back. We were all so fucking pumped for the return of Durant, dude. Oh my God, he was everywhere that year. The whole world. It was Durant mania.
Fuck out of here. Good joke though. Thanks. You had me for like 4 seconds. That's a long time.
All right, who's next?
That was pretty good. There was a character in this movie named Russ.
Okay. Yeah, I see him. He's a guy.
James Gallanders.
He's a white man.
Now, this is one I put on here and almost didn't. I needed to look it up a little bit and then get confirmation from you, but I decided to just go ahead and figured you'd elaborate. He plays a character named Jay Minhouse in the TV show Mutant X.
Yeah.
So tell the listeners about that is from what I understand, totally an X-Men thing.
It is. Mutant X is an X-Men series that
this is painful. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it was pre the movies. It's like late 90s, and this was like during an era when syndicated like action shows were doing really well. Things like VIP and Cleopatra 2525 and Jack of All Trades and Hercules and Xena. Okay. And so they did this show Mutant X, and like Marvel was going through bankruptcy, so like they had no control over this fucking thing. But it came out and it lasted a while, and it has mutants in it, but they're like not mutants you recognize from comic. They're like total. It's not worth watching at all.
Yeah, it looked pretty bad from what I was looking at. Okay, so that clears that up.
Yeah.
There was a character in this movie named Diane, played by an actress named Janet Kidder, and she's alive and well, playing a character named Ruve Adams in Arrow.
Look at that. Yeah, I'm looking at this actress now. She's had an okay career. Looks like a Canadian actress. That's why she's an Arrow. Right. And, yeah, she was on 7 episodes.
There you go.
Okay.
All right.
I also want to give a quick shout-out to Kathy Najimy, a superhero in her own right.
Oh, my. Yeah.
Love it. Okay. So, that's it for this week, Henry.